for the longest time, it felt like Pro Stock was invading Pro Mod, and there was like people such as yourselves, Jeff Purley, Larry Morgan, the list goes on. I mean, there's been a lot of different guys that kind of operated in the Pro Stock space that then started to get involved in the fast door slam, the Pro Mod space. And we've seen some of it translate, some of it not. And I'm just curious, like, Pro Mod used to be like Pro Stock ultimate efficiency, right? If you're talking on a scale of 100, you're trying to make a 97, 8, 9% efficient run, like as close to, you have very little to work with, gear ratio, clutch weight. I mean, just a little bit of timing, not a ton of stuff that you can do with the 500-inch naturally aspirated engine, fuel injected. Then going into Pro Mod, it used to be like just getting this thing under the finish line under power was victory. Like you know what I mean? Like just not hitting both walls.
Or you got more power than you need.
More
so
power
it's
than
like,
you
we don't have
ever
to be
need.
efficient. We can just muscle this thing down through here. But like,
as it has evolved,
yeah.
right? I mean, it is a much more complicated thing where that expectation is so much higher to make those high efficiency, perfect runs, the best that it could possibly be made, especially as competitive as it is right now. I mean, I'm just curious, like, what have you learned, you know, talking about some of the things that you can't do or learn not to do in your progress from the Pro Stock world into really being kind of one of the primary movers and shakers in the Pro Mod fast door slammer space right now, Justin?
Well, probably one of the biggest things that I would say people struggle with a little bit, and I did and had to kind of learn really quickly, going from Pro Stock type racing to Pro Mod, is just respecting the power. Everything that you learn in Pro Stock applies to Pro Mod, 100%. But everything is magnified, right? Like the power at the flick of a switch or the move of a timing map, you can just smoke the tire. And in Pro Stock, the only way you're smoking the tire is if it's all wadded up and it shakes, right? But all the suspension stuff, gear ratios, even some of the stuff in the clutch applies to the converters. So, you know, all that helps. I think the biggest thing, people going from Pro Stock crew chief wise to Pro Mod, is respecting the power. You know, I was Pro Stock through and through for forever. And really, until I started dabbling with the Pro Mods, I didn't really, not that I didn't give them a lot of respect, I just didn't pay attention to them very much, because the Pro Stock world is kind of closed off a little bit, right? Like they, you know, the earth rotates on their axis a little bit, and some people might get mad at me for saying that, but I lived that world, so I know that's the way it is. And for me, once I got exposed to some of the Pro Mod stuff, I was really intrigued just by how fertile it still was, how undeveloped it was. And I'm talking more like in the 2007, 2008, 9, like it was raw, right? It was, like you guys said, it was just getting the car to the other end of the racetrack. Fast forward 15 years later, and these cars are being tuned like Pro Stock cars now. We're making very, very small changes run to run, with big gains. No longer are you making these big, massive moves to see it pick up performance. They're very well refined from front to back, engine tune-up, converters, ratios, shifting, the driver, right? How the driver is staging the cars matters now, how much heat and torque converter. And the people who have really risen to the top and done well, won races, won championships in Pro Mod, have started to adopt some of those same processes that we had 15 years ago in Pro Stock.